Welcome to our one of the final episodes of the show, guys.
Welcome to a podcast.
Guys, Sons of Video Show. Should
We're
have said
back.
that off the top. I'm your thrilling host, Tom C. over here.
We're back in your ear.
And
Maybe it's black if you have a black MP3 player. Think about that.
That's true. Didn't think about
Tying
that.
us-
That's your boy over there, Diamond Lee D. Marks. It's never
Tying-
Diamond Lee D. Marks.
Tying us into a very popular song.
Are we? It's whatever. I had a good nickname for you. I thought of it and I was really proud of it, and then I forgot it.
Wasn't it
like-
very handsome D Marks?
No,
D Marks the very handsome?
that wasn't exactly it.
But it rolls off the tongue so well.
Dude, it'll come to me. It was super good though.
Okay.
But anyway,
I'm not sure you're going to get better than D Marks #1 handsome man.
it's not really a nickname when it's longer. It's more like a thing we put on your tombstone.
D Marks. Wow. How can one man be so handsome? Marks.
I
Say
feel
my last
like,
name
hold on. I
twice.
feel like if you're gonna be if you were to open up a store that just sold you, the slogan would be D Marks. Wow. You know.
If I was a popular internet meme, perhaps.
Okay, if you were a meme, that's the one you would be. Don't act like you'd be something else.
No, obviously. There's no
Yeah,
question
so
about
shut
it.
up. Guys, real quick, I want to touch on this. Sometimes we ask for reviews. We say thank you to people for listening. But recently, I had to try and look for new podcasts to listen to because the one I really like has been incredibly uninteresting lately, and it's currently an event that's never going to be interesting for me to listen to, so I'm not going to listen to it.
Right.
And what I discovered is every other podcast is garbage, and you should be thanking us for this great show we do every week.
You know, we say it off air. We say it a lot. Quite frankly, people don't thank us enough, I feel.
It's absolutely true.
For the tremendous amount of work that we put out for everybody.
The ones I listened to, you had L.A. douchebags who were pseudo intellectuals.
Dude, that's my favorite door. That's my favorite Doors song, "L.A. Douchebag."
Okay, that should be our Doors.
L.A. Douchebag. That's how it goes.
We should start a Doors cover band.
The
And
douches.
make that song.
We're done.
We kind of already
We
did
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other one was with people. It was a game podcast where
That was a little more Michael McDonald, though.
I know. I don't know what you're going for there. But the other one was a host with people so nerdy that I, a person who is excited for an elf action figure that's coming out next month, felt overwhelmed by their nerdiness. So, you're welcome again, everybody. And we have a tremendous episode today for you. You might...
Dude, people have been waiting all year for it.
They have been, and we've been planning this list ever since the first day of January came around.
Yeah, I've been planning it. I planned it for it a week before we did this podcast last year. That's
true,
how far in
yeah.
advance I was working on it.
We've been ticking and tallying, writing stuff down, remembering things. I hooked up a machine to my brain, even though it went against my augmenting policy, that every time I thought about a game, it would write a little tally down on a computer screen. And
What I did was I thought about it when I said before, the week before thing. I did that, and then I forgot until 5 minutes before we did the show right now.
Well,
So that's where I'm at.
some people like to make a deadline for themselves so that that panic kind of is their inspiration, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what you do every episode. That's why it's so good every single time.
Yeah. Well, you know how they say that work expands to fill the time allotted for it? I allotted a full year and a week, and then I still got it done before the show right now.
Well, what are we talking about, guys? That's probably most people's questions right now. If you're a Suns fan and you remember the normal way we do things, it's the second before last episode, guys. That
means only one thing.
It means it's time for
There's
our
only
top...
one more episode this year. Oh, right.
What?
The thing
I
you
was going to say our top 5 games of the year. Whoa! Yeah, that's what time it is.
Oh.
What? Guys, real quick, this isn't the top 5 games that came out this year. Don't be stupid.
Although I think a lot of them on my list actually did come out this year.
A good amount on mine did too, but not most of them. But it's games that we personally have played. This makes the list more unique. This makes the list more personal. It makes the list more professional somehow because it's
Hmm.
games we actually know more about because we played them. It's not like we're just like, yep, GTA 5's the best because it sold the most. We don't do that.
Dragon Age Inquisition, because if I didn't play it, but the BioWare gave me a sack of money.
These are games we're so passionate about because we've played them and we want you guys to know that we like them the most. Does that make sense?
Dude, it was tough this year,
It
guys.
really was tough this
Before we
year.
before we start going into our tremendous lists, this year like sucked for gaming. And like I told Tom off air, this was the first full year for two new consoles, and it was like one of the worst years in gaming in recent memories, I would say.
My question I asked him was, do you think it's because we don't have those consoles that we're like, well, it's just a bad year because nothing we care about came out? But you said the right thing of nothing was good enough to make us want a console.
Yeah, the only console that today that I would go out and get is a Wii U,
Yeah,
and that's only for like 3 games, which isn't even anything.
yeah. 3 games it shouldn't be a console seller, though I've bought consoles for 1 game.
Yeah.
But neither the PS4 or the 360 are attractive in any regard to me.
Now,
Real quick question: do you think you'd be interested in one of those consoles if you didn't have that massive gaming computer?
it's very possible. Um,
So what
period.
you're
It's
saying
very
is we're a
possible.
super master race.
Yeah.
All right, I agree. But let's not waste any more time. Real
Tom, let's
quick,
not
actually.
tarry. Let's not tarry any longer.
Let's not. I was going to do a quick recap of last year's list, but there's no reason. Just go listen to that episode.
Yeah.
It's
Plus, I don't even
episode.
remember what it was.
It's episode 79. It's called
Or I mean, I
Season's
don't remember what
Greetings.
was. I don't remember what was on it, so it doesn't really matter.
I actually re-listened to it today because I'm a professional.
That was shockingly professional of you.
I know, right? I actually already forgot what my top game was. Isn't that weird? Oh, it's Sleeping Dogs, which was right.
I think I know what mine is because you said it.
Yeah, that's how I knew it.
Anyway,
But
guys, guess
we don't
what?
need to talk about that.
We're kicking it off. We're kicking it right in the junk.
Who wants to start, me or you? We're 7 minutes in
Dude.
somehow.
Dude, I feel like you're on it, so you take it.
All right.
You know what I want you to do? I want you to take it. I want you to run with it.
Okay. You know what? That's what I like doing, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
Guys,
yeah. Like Jim
this was,
Thorpe
I
over
think,
here.
my first full year with a PS3 again. I forget when I bought it exactly. There's some games that came a little close to when the last year's list was. This one, however, was not, but there are quite a few PS3 games on this list. But the first game on my list, number 5 of the top 5, is a game that is a sequel to a game I really loved as a kid, and it reminded me of all those good times I had. It's Disgaea D2. No one saw that one coming. I'm telling you that right now. The audience is floored.
I did not.
No. This game was a game I couldn't put down. It was a game that made grinding fun for me. It made me have a lot of revelations about my gaming traits and things I like to see in games. It's a game I remember very clearly, the things in it, and it was above and beyond what I expected and every other game in the series. It deserves to have it, so I give it 100 out of 10. I mean, it's number 5. I don't
feel
know what
like
else.
it doesn't take a lot for a game to make it grinding enjoyable for you. We've talked about this many times before that you are a man who gets his grind on.
Yeah, it's a thing I like. We've talked about, and this
Yeah.
is a game that does it better than anyone else because it is focused around that and made good around it.
Huh? Can't argue with that. Makes sense to me.
We're not going to rush through it, but I got nothing else to say. What's your number
Now
5?
it sounds like you nailed
I
it.
did nail it. Thank you.
My number 5 is then this is like I don't want to call this the honorable mention slot, but whatever. My number 5 is Deus Ex: The Fall.
Really?
Yep.
This is probably the only person on Earth who's got that on any kind of top anything list.
Well, I mean, here's the deal. First of all, like I said before, this was not a great year for gaming, and the amount of games that I played that were new weren't a whole lot because the new games weren't very interesting to me by and large. What am I going to do? Go out and get Assassin's Creed Unity?
No,
Why don't I
no
poop
one's
all
going
over
to do
my-
that.
Why don't I poop all over my face somehow first? Then I'll do that thing.
It certainly would be more entertaining to me.
I'm sure it would be more entertaining to a lot of people. But Deus Ex: The Fall, it's one of those things that's like, what's the best way to put it? It's like if you eat a really good steak and then you try to go home and then you try to go home and make the steak yourself and it turns out okay. Like it's still good. It's not great, but you're like, all right, that was good. I enjoyed that. It was nice to be back in Deus Ex world. It was cool to kind of explore the pre-game, as it's called in most circles. That's what the term for it. It was cool to explore the prequel of sorts to Deus Ex, which is one of my favorite games, and just kind of see some of the see some of the old characters come back and interact with the new characters that they introduced. It's cool. It's neat.
You know what? You're a man who sticks to his guns.
That's what I try to do. Don't get me wrong. There are some control issues. The lack of jump was very frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was trying to think if there was jump in Deus Ex, which I guess there was.
There sure was, because you got the super jump.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to not include.
That was great. I love super jump.
Yeah, super jump's great.
Anyway, that's my number 5.
Real surpriser there for me, honestly.
Number 4.
Okay, number 4, guys. For me.
Did you like how I top 20'd that?
Yeah, we should top 20 everything from now on, just period in general.
Just top 20 in our lives.
Yeah. Number 4 for me is a game that I didn't think would be this high on any list that I made when I played it, because I kind of went through it thinking, this is kind of generic, this is kind of whatever, this isn't that great, this is too easy, blah, blah, blah. I had a lot of complaints about it. I even made a review about it, which should narrow it down for some people.
I know what this is.
Yeah. It's a game that I didn't think would have any kind of real effect on me, but then it's a game that stuck with me for the rest of the year. It's a game I kept thinking about. The choices they made, I liked. I liked the style of it. I liked the characters in it. I liked a bunch of stuff about it. Even though there wasn't that much gameplay, or it was too short, or it was too easy, or whatever, most of it stuck with me. So for number 4 of 2013, I'm giving Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
This is a game I really want to get, because it looked. When I first heard and read about it, I was like, What are they talking about? What on earth is this? But like now that I know a little more about it, I'm a little more excited. I definitely want to investigate.
Yeah, it understands what it is, and it is jokey and fun and over the top. It's what you want it to be, and it's a game that you wouldn't think you would like as a Metal Gear fan, but as a Metal Gear fan, I liked it. So
yeah. It's full of fun jokes, except for Sam, who's awesome all the time.
No, the things are all cool, and they're supposed to be cool. It taught me about myself more in that I love over-the-top things, which was clear with this game.
Yeah, that is something that we learned this year.
Yeah, that I definitely enjoy over-the-top, ridiculous crap all the time.
It's true, guys. He does like that.
But that's my number 4. What's a D Marks bringing in number 4?
Number 4 for me is Company of Heroes Opposing Fronts. Guys, guess what? Company of Heroes is a really hard game, and I still am not competent enough to play it online with people because I'd get my ass kicked. But I'm to the point now where I can beat normal computers sometimes, so I'm getting better. The thing about Company of Heroes is some of you might be surprised that I didn't put Company of Heroes 2, which did come out this year, and I actually have. Some of you might be surprised I didn't put that on my list. It's because it's not as good. I played it. I think I talked about in the show my complaints that I had about it, but basically it boils down to the fact that they really kind of just I'm hesitant to use this word, but I'm going to use it anyway. They really just kind of casualized it. Like they took away the complexity to reach a wider audience, and I think that took away why I thought the game was so interesting in the first place, you know?
Yeah, I think that
like the cold weather mechanics were cool, and we might talk about cold weather mechanics a little later.
Oh,
but
no.
but it just wasn't enough. I never felt as in it as I did when I was playing Opposing Fronts. You know?
Yeah.
Just something was missing, and sometimes that's all it takes to ruin a game. I'm
surprised this is the first year you played it.
Well, I didn't have a PC that could play it before.
You were absolutely right.
So there.
Yeah. No, it's something that really stuck with you, that's for sure.
It was really good. I did a video on that as well. Think about that.
You did 2 videos on it.
Nice.
Those are both on the channel, guys.
Nice.
Anyway, that's great.
Pass
it to me. Pass it to me.
Number 3.
All right. Number 3 for me, guys, is a game that we've talked about way too much on the show. It's a game that I would be shocked if it's not on your list. Um, we were very excited for it, and for the most part, it delivered. It was a little too short, but not that short. And we enjoyed playing it so much that we still play it. We haven't played in like a few weeks, but we still play it. The game is Borderlands, the pre-sequel. This was a game that was extremely competent at what it wanted to do. It was better than Borderlands 2. It was extremely fun. I liked the characters. I liked the style. I liked the setting. There's not much to complain about. It would get higher if I didn't like the other games more. And there's nothing else to complain about there. I love Borderlands.
We both do.
I'm surprised Borderlands 2 didn't get higher 2 years ago? 1 year ago?
2 years ago, I think.
Well, that's probably why. I don't know if we did it 2 years ago. But anyway, that's my number 3. I just ripped it out. D-Marks, what's your number? Number 3.
Dude, you ripped it all over the place. This is I have 2 for number 3. So I'm not sure if you're gonna like.
You always do this.
I'm not sure if you're gonna like this one, so I got to back up in case you don't accept it. I'm gonna put this out there with my hand fist. I'm gonna put FTL Advanced Edition, number 3.
Okay, guys, at home are saying, D-Marks, that was your number 1 last year.
And it would have been my number 1 this year if I didn't think that was cheating.
Guys, the thing is, Advanced Edition is different from the first game that came out.
Yeah.
Advanced Edition you could classify as a separate game. It'd be like saying Age of Conquerors compared to Age of Kings.
Yeah, even I'm not sure I would give it that, but
well, I'm trying here. It added a whole bunch of new contents. It's basically an expansion pack. I would let you have it if you really wanted to, but I would like to hear your opposing for 3, unless. Wait, how does this work? It's either.
No, you want to hear my alt 3?
Yeah. So if I do accept your regular 3, does that mean your alt 3 is not on the list at all?
Yep.
How's that work?
It just does.
Okay, what's the alt then?
My alt is this might be an even weirder choice. My alt is Space Engine.
Really?
I haven't talked about it on the show, guys. Space Engine's awesome. I love Space Engine. It's so good.
Did you hear about the game that's out recently? That's basically, I forget what it's called, but isn't it called like Open Sky or something like that? Yes, you can basically make your own spaceship and then fly around in randomly generated worlds.
Yeah, I would also be interested in getting that, but I haven't yet.
Yeah, that's something you should be interested in. Talk a little bit about Space Engine, because we all know how we feel about FTL.
Yeah, well, I hadn't actually. I don't think I've talked about Space Engine at all on the show.
I
I only got a couple weeks ago. It was right after. I think it was the day that I saw Interstellar, the Christopher Nolan movie about space and black holes and stuff.
Do you mean Interstellar 555?
Yeah, exactly. And I was on Popular Video Game Board, and there was a thread of people who were like, "Oh, I just saw Interstellar. I want to play like space games," and everybody recommended Space Engine. So I was like, I'm a guy who likes space games sometimes. I'll also get the Space Engine. And basically, guys, what Space Engine is, it's not so much as a game as much as it is like, how to explain this? It's almost like a virtual encyclopedia, or like it's almost like a virtual map of the universe, kind of.
It sounds like it's for dorks. Is that accurate?
Yes, extremely.
Okay, great.
But basically, what happens is, and there are a ton of mods for it that lets you have like spaceships and stuff, but it
doesn't start out with you having spaceships.
No, the core gameplay, I say in quotes, is you in first person just like shooting around the galaxy at varying speeds so you can go look at distant objects. And it really does give you a feel for just how big the universe is. Because even when you're traveling like 1 astronomical unit per second, you ain't going nowhere fast, especially if you're trying to go between galaxies.
Well, that makes me laugh.
Dude, if you really want to get the like Star Wars hyperspace feel, you have to be going at the top speed, which is about how much was it? Yeah. You have to be going at the top speed of 100 megaparsecs per second.
I respect that.
So like if you're not traveling at incredibly fast speeds, you really aren't, because like even if you're traveling at the speed of light, it's not going to take you 8 minutes to get from Earth to the sun. So you're just so big.
Man, this universe thing is big.
Just the solar system's big. Everything's big.
Dude,
It's
I
so
hate to
big.
say it. I'm not interrupting you. Do you think we should come back with our number 2s and number 1s in the next half? Because we kind of we're in the halfway point. We have stuff to talk about, but we can combine them.
Yeah, I guess we'll do that. That's fair.
Guys, you're going to hear the rest of our fine list on the next thrilling half of the show. Welcome back to the show.
And we're back.
We're back.
Guys, we're very excited for the second half. Oh my god.
You know what? I feel bad to make you guys have to sit there. You were wondering, what's the song going to be? Sorry, not the song. What's the next 2 going to be? You'd heard what the song was going to be. You don't know what it is. Because who knows that? But anyway.
It's a mystery to this day.
It will never be solved.
Nope.
But we have the final list parts coming up, unless we want to waste your time with some useless gab. Do you have any gab you want to talk about?
Feel like we should save the gab for after.
I didn't mean any content-filled gab. I mean, do you want to be like, hey, what's going on? Do you want to make like a butt joke or something right now? That's what would normally be in this space.
Butts. Butt joke. There, I nailed it.
All right, I think we should get to number 2.
Guys, number 2. Sorry.
The top 5 2014. Number 2 here for me.
Number 2. You can't see me, but I'm pointing right at you, bro.
Now I feel the pressure's on.
Good.
Number 2 for me, guys.
Work with that pressure. Oh, God, yeah.
Number 2 is a game I'm not actually sure I played this year, but I didn't mention it on last year's show, and I feel there's no chance I wouldn't have mentioned it, because that's how confident I am it belongs on this list. It's even number 2 for Chris' sake, you know?
For Chris's sake.
For Chris's sake. This is a weird game, a very weird game. The gameplay is not all that interesting. For the most part, it is a visual novel.
Hey, I know
almost.
what game this is.
What?
Hey, I know what game this is.
You're lucky I told you the list of all the games that I played this year.
I know. I feel like I still would have gotten it.
Anyway, it is a strange puzzle-based game. That's the gameplay, but the gameplay doesn't matter because the parts that stuck with me all this time was the visual novel elements, the very diverging paths that you can take from decisions you make, the interesting ideas and the setting and theming, and the excellent way it's brought about and style of everything was enough for me to rebuy the game with the premium edition and then buy posters of the game and sometimes wear the underpants that came with the game. That game is Catherine, specifically for PS3. Catherine is a great game.
That's by Dana Jones, right? The developer?
Sorry, it is not. But here's the thing, guys. This is weird. You might be saying no one cares about this game. Also, it super didn't come out this year. But for some reason,
I want to say this game came out in 2012.
I want to say it was 2012 too. But the thing about it is,
also, this was not the game I thought you were thinking of.
really?
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking Azura's Wrath.
Oh yeah.
By the description you gave, I wasn't off.
No, that game was on the list of things I played this year, I think.
Yeah.
It was close. Actually, didn't write it. We should have some honorable mentions too.
Yeah.
At the end of this list. But Catherine was a game that I really, really remembered, and I thought about it a lot. I wanted to replay it, so I bought it again. There's a lot of different things you can do, a lot of different paths, a lot of different ways you can go about getting to the end. And it's all animated well. It's all interestingly executed. It's a game that is very memorable and worth playing just to see it performed almost for you, you know?
Did the game finally give you all the courage you need to cheat on your significant other?
No, but it made me feel worse about it if I chose to do it. I don't know.
Well,
This game has a lot of really...
something.
What?
I said that's something.
I don't know. It's just, I like games that are very style heavy, and this is a great example of it.
Games with a lot of style, not so much substance, but style.
Well, the thing is, the actual gameplay is just there for show. Like, it's not a real thing. Like, the way it's defined in the game makes sense, and it definitely fits in the theming, but it doesn't look... It wasn't particularly fun. It wasn't that challenging either. It was just kind of, like, there for the purpose of... Yeah, like, it had to be a game,
because we
so
have to call it a game.
What?
We have to call it a game, so there has to be some gameplay elements.
Although some people would say, you can make a visual novel, but they, you know...
But that's not a game.
Yeah, visual novels aren't games, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But just for its sheer memorability and interestingness, it's number 2 on my list. What is number 2 on your list?
Wow!
Wow!
Wow! Guys, guess what? My number 2 is Borderlands, a pre-sequel.
What game is that? I've never heard of it.
I know, it's shocking.
Why is it so high on that list?
I liked it a lot. Like I said, I thought the ending was a little weird, and I thought the game was short. But gameplay, super duper fun. Probably, in terms of gameplay, it's definitely my favorite Borderlands game. Absolutely. No question.
Yeah. No question.
The low grav environments were fun. The one vehicle you got was actually interesting and fun to ride around in, as opposed to all the other vehicles in every other game that are always terrible. Yeah, characters were interesting. I played. I actually played a little bit of 3 characters because we did our Nisha run. We're doing our Wilhelm run now, and by R I mean these are the characters I'm playing in our runs.
Yeah.
We're doing the Nisha run, we're doing the Wilhelm run, and then I've been playing. I had a Claptrap run going by myself, so I played like 3 characters, guys. That's a lot.
It's pretty good.
That's a lot.
One character we're all shocked you're playing as, but
Claptrap's super fun. If it weren't Claptrap, I would play it. If it weren't Claptrap, I would play it every single time. Claptrap's so good and so much fun.
Which is still funny to me.
He's just great. There's like nothing to hate there except for the fact that it's Claptrap.
I know. If only they didn't do that to me.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Regardless, guys, guess what? That's my number 2. There it is. You just saw it.
Unfortunately, that was probably the biggest profile release that we had any interest in this year.
I know.
You know?
I had a passing interest in Far Cry, but that went pretty fast.
You also had an interest in After Earth. What's it called?
Oh, Beyond Earth. Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah, Alpha Centauri is what it is. Yeah, you're right. We're both right.
Yeah.
And apparently everyone hates that.
Dude, I talked about it on the show. I played a demo of it, or I didn't like it.
Right. That's sad. That made me sad. I wanted you to love it because I want you to spend the amount of time you spend in Civ 5 in a different game, but it's never going to happen.
Yeah, probably not. That'd be tough.
Now I don't know what your number 1 is, by the way.
Dude, you're not going to get it. Not going to get a million years.
Not going to get a million years. I'm going to take a drink of this Dr. Pepper while you give me some fanfare for my number 1. Okay, that was pretty good.
Thanks. That was right off the top of my head too.
It kind of was like the beginning of the marriage song. Is that song of a name?
It's the Bridal March.
Okay. I don't want to think about marching brides because that, you know what? They're probably going to want to attack me.
That's what it's called. I can't.
It seems a little bit sexist. You don't have any husband marches, you know what I'm saying? Guys, who cares about that?
There are no husband songs, period.
What about... All right, I don't have anything.
Maybe now you're wasting all this good fanfare.
Sorry, could you maybe give me a little bit more?
No.
Can I give myself fanfare?
The fanfare budget's spent for this year. You have to wait 2 weeks until the budget resets.
Can we at least get the Casey Kasem number 1 thing?
Yeah, that we can still get. Hold on, let me type it up on my old computer screen. All right, here we go. Number 1.
Guys, my number 1 of this year probably is not a surprise to a lot of people out there. It was It's in a series of games that are all beyond most games that are coming out right now. Every game in this series is better than nearly every game that's been released in the last 3 years or whatever. This is probably the worst game in that series. However, it still is the best game of the year, regardless of that. And it's not that bad. We had a whole episode devoted to me talking about it. It was a game I was extremely excited for. It's a game with a bunch of DLCs that I never bought, so they're still fun to be had in the future.
Apparently, people really like the one DLC.
Apparently, people love everything about the whatever. I would love to play those. Apparently, they're remaking the game and re-releasing like an HD super thing, like
Really?
a PC only version that's like way better quality graphics and with all the DLCs for free. Which I'm excited about that. That might be a misreading on my part, but I heard about that. Guys, you probably already guessed it. The game is Dark Souls 2.
Wow.
Wow. Guys, this is probably the worst game in the series. However, every game in the series is excellent, including this one. This game lasted me for a bunch of hours. I had a bunch of runs in it. The game is far more interesting than anything else that came out this year. Far more memorable than most of them. Just fun, great gameplay. Very interesting gameplay. Very rewarding gameplay. As far as gameplay, it's definitely the best on the list, including Borderlands and Metal Gear Rising, which were gameplay-heavy games. But basically, this game played exactly how I wanted it to. Although a lot of people at home might be saying, Tom C., you're not allowed to like Dark Souls 2 because it kind of forebodes a casualization of this series, which you're right about. But at the same time, I don't care about that because the game is still excellent, and you're maybe a little bit of a crybaby. You need to shut up. No offense
Dude, but
to
that's
you.
that's what I didn't like about Company Heroes 2, though. The casualization.
You're not wrong. However, this one was not nearly as casualized. It's easier in a lot of regards, but at the same time, it's still got that feel. It's got the gameplay you like. It's all really still there. There's some things that it's definitely
Sorry.
the easiest in the franchise, which is not great in that regard. It's a game I think I beat most of the bosses in one try. There's a lot of negatives about this game, but at the same time, it's a Souls game. It's easily better than anything else that came out this year or anything else I played this year, simply on that fact alone. And in all honesty, I did enjoy it the most of all these things. That's what I'm saying.
Does it have chills, and are they multiplying?
No, I did. It didn't. When I first played it,
Okay.
I was like, "What is this? This is great." That's exactly what happened. Now,
That sounds great.
it was great for me. Now then, now that I gotten through it, you can all stop listening to me go on with my garbage.
Gab and gab and gab.
D. Marks, what is your number one game of 2014?
Can I
Oh,
get the
we can't afford
KCK?
that. Sorry.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, you're blowing money. You're blowing money
That
already.
was a mistake.
That's coming out of your bonus this year.
Dude, come on.
Hey, you were the one who gave an extra fanfare where it did not
Dude,
belong.
that's not fair. I need that. You don't need it.
It's too bad.
I don't care for this.
It doesn't matter if you need it. It's a thing of whatchamacallit.
Great.
It's the principle of the thing. That's what I was thinking of.
Well, that sucks, and I hate everybody. But what's your number one?
Can I get the case of Kasem though? We still have money for that.
Number one.
Thank you. Guys, guess what?
What?
Nobody's gonna like this as my number one. I'm
not looking
sorry,
forward to that.
but it's gonna happen because this is just how I feel in my heart of hearts.
I have no idea what this could be.
Guys, my number one is Valiant Hearts: The Great War.
What?
Best game of the year, no question, in my opinion.
This is a joke.
Best game, no question.
This
No
is-
jokes.
This is a joke.
No, it's not a joke.
You joking right now? Valiant Hearts.
Valiant Hearts: The
You
Great
didn't
War.
even talk about it on the show.
I know. I just started playing it today.
What? Oh, dude. Throw the whole list out. Boo.
Okay, here's the thing. I watched a Let's Play of this a couple weeks ago because I wanted to see what it was all about. So I watched the whole thing, but I only played it today just so I say I could have played it because I think everybody would have gotten really mad if I had said a game was Game of the Year and I hadn't actually played it before.
People might still get mad.
Well, that's very fair, but I also don't care because I'm sticking by.
Well, tell us a little bit about it.
Guys, here's the deal. Valiant Hearts is a great game. It takes place during the First World War One. You play as it's a point and click adventure kind of deal. There's a little bit of moving around, but at its core, you're interacting with the environment. You're trying to get through these battlefields and stuff on the backdrop of trench warfare and gas attacks and stuff. There are four main playable characters, five if you count the small dog. You got Emile, who's an older French gentleman who's drafted into the war. Carl, his son-in-law, who's actually a German. Freddie, an American who joins up with the French army. And Anna, a Belgian nurse who drives the people around. But it's really... The gameplay is interesting. It definitely puts... some moments are really, really tense. We're trying to get past like machine gun fires and stuff and trying to avoid shells hitting you. And the tone is great. It's very respectful, and I enjoy it quite a lot.
I was giving you crap, but I really respect this choice because I know how much you enjoy World War One, and how hard it is to find a game in that time period.
If you get it, I think you'd enjoy it as well.
Well, what do you like about it?
Oh, well, like I said, the art style's neat. I don't know if you've ever seen the art style for it.
I have.
But I like the art style that they use for it because it's like cutesy, but there's still like that severity to it, I guess is the word I want to use.
Yeah.
So there's just an air to it that even though it's a little cutesy and a little like cartoonish, you're just like, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Well, there's men being blown up and machine guns. It's all bad.
Real talk. I believe this is an indie game.
No, it's made by Ubisoft.
Really?
Yeah.
Never mind. I was gonna say that you have that you voted indie both years, which would have been a huge thing.
Huge upset.
At the same time, I was gonna say that a lot of people know this, but the Suns, we give something called the Suns bump, and when you get a number one on a 2014 list like this, your company is going to make millions of dollars. You know?
It's going to make a millions.
Because the whole Suns army, as they're never going to be referred to as, they go out and they buy whatever we say. Whatever's number one on that list, they want it. You know?
Right.
So now you got people rushing out to buy Valiant Hearts, and you know who's making the money? Ubisoft. Does it have terrible DRM?
Yeah, well, you have to use Uplay. That's how I know it's Ubisoft.
Okay, so it does.
Yeah.
Which I'm sorry, guys. You probably should just instead play Dark Souls 2, just to avoid that. But yeah, listen. You know what? I respect that choice actually, and I also respect that you watched the game, because in a lot of these games it could be something that we both play at the same time, which means one of us would have watched.
Yeah.
There were some things like that in last year, although I did play every game this year. There were some things like that before. You know what? I respect it. I respect you sticking to your guns.
Thank you.
In general,
I
respect you.
I know it's not a common choice. It's not a choice I feel like a lot of people would have gone with, but I have to go with what's in my heart.
Honestly, I feel like it's probably the greatest generation of choices. Oh wait, that was World War II.
Yeah. Good try though.
It was pretty great. I think it's a pretty neat choice. No one would have guessed that.
No. That's what I like to do. I like to keep everybody guessing.
You know what?
I keep them on their toes. I keep them guessing.
You did. You absolutely did both those things, and for that, I respect you to no end.
Thank you very, very much.
We actually filled this whole half up, which is shocking to me.
Guys, we're really good at talking.
We wanted to also do blunders of this year.
Like I said, it's the whole thing. The whole year was a blunder.
The whole we kind of touched on it. Yeah, basically, it's ridiculous that these new consoles suck so bad that we're not interested in buying them. Alpha Centauri was probably a blunder. I don't know. I can't think of anything else that I really didn't enjoy. That's always a hard question. Can you think of something you didn't enjoy at all? You already said Alpha Centauri. You're already winning.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not sure if there's any game that I specifically didn't like, but there are plenty of games that I know I didn't have any interest in playing at all.
Can you list one of them?
Oh, Assassin's Creed. I was was like, I knew there was one I was thinking of, but yeah, it was just.
How about this? What was the worst game you played this year?
That's a good question.
I'm going to answer mine, which may actually answer yours, because I'm going to say you can also say have seen played. Guys, the worst game I probably played this year, because I played a bunch of really great games, it's going to sound weird, and you might not want to give it to me, but for a very short time, we played Amnesia: A Machine for Pigs on the stream, and Amnesia, the first one, I got pretty far in. We did that on a stream, too. We tried playing Amnesia: Machine for Pigs, and it's just not fun or scary. It's just...
Oh, was that the one where it's the...
I talked about it on the show, and the story is very interesting. It was interesting to watch, but playing it is not interesting.
That's the one where you were in that castle, right?
Or basically in a mansion that's attached to a factory.
Yeah.
The first one's in a castle. But it was so, like... It was purposefully obtuse and, like, not clear what to do. At the same time, not being scary, looking bad, controlling bad. Most people don't like A Machine for Pigs in general compared to The Dark Descent. But for me, that's probably the worst game I played this year, simply because I had no fun playing it, and then I never played it again.
Well, I think that really gets across the point of least favorite game.
I think it does too. I want to also we're really going over some honorable mentions of this year of games that I also liked a lot. If you have any, please bring them up.
I do.
Some games that were worth playing. I played them this year. Luftraisers, definitely a game that stuck with me, but not top 5 material. Dragon's Dogma was excellent. And let's see what else I got. War Thunder was excellent. Resident Evil 6 and Rogue Legacy, both great. Burial at Sea I would count.
Yeah.
And also, what was the last one?
Burial at Sea, Ground Zeroes gets honorable mention.
Oh yeah, Ground Zeroes. Also Outlast. That's the last one I'm going to mention. Outlast was a great game too. We actually played it too, which is weird.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah. But you're right. Ground Zeroes. That was terrific. Should have been it could have been on the top 5. That's how bad it was.
If it were longer, it would have been probably. But it was just too short.
If it was longer, it probably would have been number 1.
That probably is very true.
Because it was super good.
Super good, guys. Guess what? That's it for this week, for the most part.
Yeah, we want to tell you to send us an email. Hilariously, we got a few emails last week because it was the first time we mentioned the actual email address.
Oh, that's funny.
Because
I guess we should do that from now on, huh?
They were like, "Oh, we finally emailed you because we knew what the actual email address was." And I was like, "That's hilarious, guys! It's sonsofvidia@gmail.com."
So easy.
So easy. We got a Gmail.
Wow.
Yeah, we were accepted into the Gmail program.
Yeah.
No biggie.
Dude, we got fast-tracked to the Gmail program.
We didn't even have to go through the extensive process. They said, "You're in, guys."
No, we went to the website and we were like, "Yo, dog, I need an email." And they were like, "Right away, sir. Right away, sirs."
They called us sirs. Absolutely true.
Yep.
Guys, go check out the YouTube if you haven't already. Go check out the Twitter, which has been weirdly getting more followers in the recent days, which I'm extremely excited about. Often I post my dirtiest jokes there, so enjoy that. Go rate us on iTunes, which you're not going to do statistically, so don't even worry about it. But
it's gonna be fine.
Like I said before, guys, you're welcome that we do the show, and if you care about humanity and want them to not be forced into these terrible other podcasts, you should probably like us on iTunes. That's what gets us seen. That's what helps out your fellow man. Don't you care about them? Don't you? Guys, we care about our fellow men.
We sure do.
And we want to
we care about everybody.
That's true. We want anything ever we care about. Even animals. Animals get a thing from this. We want to give them maybe 3 minutes of orgasmic pleasure. The way we do
the only way we know how, really.
We do it every week, guys. It's our world famous Speed
Reviews. Tom, this is the top 10 greatest Sega Saturn games.
Great.
Number 10, Christmas Nights.
Christmas Nights sounds wonderful. There's probably cookies, probably a fire. Love it. 10 out of 10. Astal.
Astal is about the girl in class who's got the tallest ass, and it's so great. 10 out of 10. Number 8, Saturn Bomberman.
I want to think about this game, but now I'm thinking about that girl from the last game. That girl's That's just a weird condition. 10 out of 10. Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei.
Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei translates to Panzer Dragoon 2, which is a game about panzers and their dragoons in ballet, performing fabulous dances for you. Gets a 7 out of 10. Number 6, Burning Rangers.
Burning Rangers is the sweetest sounding thing I've ever heard, and if I was ever to make a vigilante group, it would be called that. 10 out of 10. Panzer Dragoon.
Panzer Dragoon is a lot like Panzer Dragoon Tutus, except without all the ballet. So instead, there's a lot of bloody and terrible combat. So it's not like the ballet thing at all. So for that, it gets a 0 out of 10. Number 4, Guardian Heroes.
Guardian Heroes would be the rival gang that would fight the Burning Rangers, and they get a 0 out of 10 for being our enemy. Nights into Dreams.
Nights into Dreams is that game that I think is that game that I think it is, and I like that game a lot. 10 out of 10. Number 2, Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Did not a lot of games come out for the Saturn? Is that what it is? This is a game where you're a guy...
Or is Panzer Dragoon just that good?
It's probably both. Panzer Dragoon is a game where you are a dragoon who rides a tank. Dragoons, for those who don't know, were dudes who rode horses with revolvers or something. 10 out of 10. Radiant Silvergun.
Radiant Silvergun is pretty clearly the gang leader of the Burning Rangers.
It's true.
So it gets a 10 out of 10.
Guys, we did it!
Guys, wow, only one episode left. We're going to catch you next week for it.